pull back a little bit here on the broader picture to look at the main futures indexes. The reason why I want to look at this is you can see for the first time, we haven't touched our 40-day moving average on the daily chart on the SPOOs since back here in mid-April. So we're going on 2 solid months, which is very unusual that you get one-way movement like this. Looks like we may want to touch this the 40-day here, which would still be bullish for the market, but that takes us down to 1505. We're at 1516 and selling off as we speak further. I would want to be a seller here of any rally up to this 1540 area. At this point, the market seems to have changed. Again, you can see we really haven't closed under the 10-day even beyond maybe 2 times real quickly, and then the market reversed both those times here in mid-May and late May. So the market seems to be putting in some type of top here. If you ask me, it's really slowly been grinding up, but nothing too sexy on the long side. And again, I've said for the last few weeks that risk is more on being long right now than versus being short, in my opinion. We're just way overdue. On the Nasdaq, you'll see this kind of the same thing. Let's bring up that chart real quick, but I think you'll see very similar patterns on all the futures popping up here. The Nasdaq has again touched down a couple more times since that April time frame. When it turned, it was lagging actually the broader based S&P back in here, and it didn't really even turn bullish until mid-April at the same time. But since that time, again, you can see it's really only touched a couple times, and that is also breaking down below the 10-minute moving average, which is not uber bullish in my opinion for the market. And then let's look at the Dow futures, because you'll see the again the same type of setup here. And now again, we haven't had any more than 2 days down on any of these markets, so I'm not getting too excited, but it's just something to keep an eye on. This will, if we close where we are or lower today on the Dow, I think you can really see clearly here on the Dow 30. The 30 stocks haven't broken below the 10-day until today. If we can close under this 13,573, you see that number there. So that's looking to me like it wants to go down to at least 13,300, which is 150 points from here. Not a big deal. Still only another percent from here. So we're not talking a major retraction, and still very bullish if we hold that line. I would guess we'll probably hold that line the first time and then bounce. I would think I'd want to be getting shorter if we do hold this line. If we go down that far and then bounce, I'm going to be wanting to sell a lot of names if this pattern is bearing out across the board. On the Russells, let's pull up the small cap 2000. I'd like to look at even broader indices here. Let's take a look at this and see how this looks. But I would fathom to say that we're probably going to be seeing the same things even on the Russell. The Russell has had a nice run. I'm going to take out these fib lines for purpose of this, and you can again see big candle down here today. Basically the Russells are down about 12.5 points today, 1.5%. So easy come, easy go with the small caps. And again, you can see price has been battling this 40-minute on the daily Russell here for some time. Back here in April, we were at 8. When we broke out, we were at about 808. And we've gone all the way to 855 or so. So we are pulling back. I think it was 858 actually. So we're pulling back, and again, 808 to 858. It's 50 points, which is a solid 6%, 7% move on the Russell here in 2.5 months. So that's had a nice move, and still bullish until I see that red line crossing the blue. So all these charts on dailies are still bullish, but we're seeing really the first instances of breakdown. We'll see if we can do more than 2 days, as we haven't had more than a 2-day rest on any of these indices really over the past 3 months. So let's see if it's time, or are we going to run a little bit more into the 4th of July holiday season.